bird on a tree. I'm just sitting here, I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together, it's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Welcome to the Republic of May. My name is Ivana, and this is a channel where I share my creative journey and some parts of my life living on an island in the Mediterranean. Hi, welcome back. Many of you know that I needed to take some time off, and that's why I made like a month break, month or so between the videos I released. And I wanted to thank you for all your messages and care, and you were so nice, and it did help. It meant a lot. Even though I know I'm not alone, I felt it. I felt that I'm not alone. So I want to thank you for that. This spring kind of snuck up on me. Maybe because we had such a mild winter, and it's like I kept on waiting for the winter to start, and it never did. And even though here in Cyprus our winters are not as cold as in other places in the world, we don't really get snow on the coast. But we do get cold. We do get cold, especially in our houses, because the houses were built in that way. They were built more in a way to keep the heat out rather than in. So we don't have good isolation. And even though the temperatures don't drop as much, we do get cold inside. But nonetheless, the spring came and brought with it the promise of new beginnings. To signify the beginning of Lent, here in Cyprus we celebrate the day we call Green Monday. Although in Greek the holiday is called Katharo Deftera, which means Clean Monday, the meaning is the same. It is the day when families come together outdoors and food is prepared without meat. Fish and seafood are allowed though. This year, Cyprus Easter is beginning of May. So Green Monday was a couple of weeks ago, and this year my sister and her family, as well as my parents, came over to our house.
What does source mean?
It was such a nice day, and the weather was lovely as it usually is at this time of the year.
Well, how about where I put the distributor?
Actually, the original beat would be in the sauce.
What happened? He ate the flies. He ate the flies.
That on camera.
Normally mixing of 3 generations, as well as 3 languages, could create some chaos. Yet for us, somehow it all comes natural and part of our blended family tradition. last year, I started making this rug. Well, not at the end, a couple of months before the end of last year. I started making this color work rug from rustic wool, and I kind of put it aside to work on Christmas gifts. And then when I picked it up, I couldn't really get into it. It's like, you know, when you leave something on the side for a while and then you just cannot get the momentum back. So I finished it in a square. I closed the top part. I'm yet to close the bottom part. This is how it looks. It's really nice, but the way that I found that I was using it throughout the winter is not really as a rug. I used it as a lap blanket while I was knitting in the kitchen in the evenings. So what I might do, I might close the bottom part as well, because I was knitting in the round. So I might close the bottom part as well. I could use it as a rug because it really is nice and thick and squishy. But I think it found its own use and purpose rather than what I had in mind in the first place. I think it's going to be a lap blanket, and I'm going to keep it like this and use it next winter as well. My making in the past month or so was kind of chaotic, and I kept on kind of going back to making, but without any plan. I just kept on grabbing stuff and spinning. Spinning was a big thing, and knitting, but without any particular order, which is okay. It's fine. This was my refuge in this moment in time. So it's going to take a while to kind of show you everything that I did. So slowly I'm going to start coming back. I thought it was about time, and maybe show snippets here and there of the things that I've been making. But the main thing that I did knit is a jumper, a sweater. It's a raglan jumper, and I don't know how to read patterns, so I kind of improvise. But this is the first time that I actually wrote what I did, and I'm wondering, because it does fit nice, whether I'm going to be able to follow my own recipe from now on, which would be great, because every single jumper that I make I improvise, and then you kind of have to start from the beginning. Even though the constructions, you know, I do kind of know if I do drop shoulder or if I do raglan or seamless sweater, I kind of know what to do, but I never really write down the stitches. And also because I'm working with hand-spun yarn, it's a bit difficult because of the gauge, because the yarn is never really the same thickness since I knit almost exclusively until now with my hand-spun. And the jumper I made from the wool I spun, I mixed okay, I wanted to make like cognac color, so not really burnt orange. So what I mixed is rust colored coriandel, which was already pre-dyed, and I blended it with oatmeal blue faced lesta and brown alpaca. The yarn came out lovely. I was really happy with the color, and the jumper came out really nice as well. One lady asked me on Instagram, Sue, if I could talk more about that. Well, as I said, I don't know how to read patterns. So, and anything that I do, whether it's my painting, my knitting, my spinning, nothing is really technical. The only thing I can do is I can tell you what I did. Okay, so the jumper was done with the raglan construction, raglan sleeve construction, which you can see here, these kind of lines. It's the way that the jumper is increased. These are my notes that I took. Obviously they're not professional, but this is the first time that I actually wrote down what I did, so I can just tell you kind of my numbers. The jumper was made from top down, so I started from the top and I worked my way down. The ribbing, you could knit it, and most of the people would knit it, but because when I do ribbing with knitting, it kind of turns out wonky. So what I did, I made a crochet ribbing, and it came out nice, but you really don't have to. You can obviously knit 1 by 1 or 2 by 2. The cast on stitches for this particular jumper were 100 stitches, and I have placed the markers, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. There is no short row shaping for this jumper, so the back and the front are exactly the same. So the stitch markers I have put, the counts are 40 for the front, 10 for the sleeve, 40 for the back, and another 10 for the sleeve. Then when I started increasing, I was increasing every other round. So I would make 1 round increases and then just knit 1 round. However, for the first 5 increases, I have done so only on the front and on the back. I didn't increase the sleeves. So the first round I have increased 1 stitch here, 1 stitch here, the same at the back. The next one knitted normally, then again the same thing, and this was for the first 5 increases, which means for the 10 rounds. Then I started increasing, including the sleeves. So the same thing. 1 increase here, 1 here, then 1 for the sleeve on this side, on the other side, exactly the same. So basically 8 increases every round. And then the next one I would knit just a normal plain round of knitting. And I did so until I had 44 stitches for the sleeves and 84 stitches for the front, 84 for the back, and 44 again for this sleeve. And then I have just continued knitting straight down and did the ribbing at the bottom. This obviously it's going to be different depending what yarn you use, your size. This is what worked for me. The knitting needles that I used were 5mm, but the crochet hook that I used for the ribbing around the collar was 4mm. I hope this helps. You can just take this as a guide really and play around with it just as a starting point. Okay, hope you like it. I'll show you more footage of spinning this beautiful cognac yarn, and I'll show that at the end of the video in the making segment. But I want to tell you something that I'm trying out, and I want your opinion on it, whether you have tried those needles that I bought. Until now I was knitting socks with magic loop, and it's okay, I don't mind it, but it does go a bit slow for my taste. And I do have some 9-inch circular small ones, but my hands were cramping. It was very difficult to knit with those. I think those were higher wooden ones, I think, I'm not sure. But still my fingers were cramping, and I heard about this type of needles. I found them from the company Addy. I think they're called Socks Wonder. So they're also small like that, 9-inch circular needles. However, one of the needles is a bit longer than the other, and that longer needle you will use in your dominant hand, depending whether you're right-handed or left-handed, which in my case I use it in my right. I keep it in my right hand, and I'm knitting socks with those now for the first time, and I'm very happy with it so far. It's going quick because I don't have to shift the magic with the magic loop. I don't have to pull the cable every time, so I can just go around and around and around, and I don't find my hands cramping anymore. I will tell you in the future also how I get along, whether this is just one off that I like it, but so far so good. I do like these ones, and I think I'm going to stick with these for now. Ever since I made hand knit socks as Christmas gifts for my family, they fell in love with them and wouldn't take them off. So I know that there is a lot of sock knitting in my future, and I will start making them throughout the year so they're ready for winter. But for now, since the weather is really beautiful, it's that perfect medium between heavy rains and really hot months, I'm going to use this period to spend more time outside. There is a lot to be done in the garden, and the heat of the summer will once again be here before we know it. So thank you. I'm going to see you very soon, I hope. And I'm going to leave you with that and a month or so in making. Thank you. Bye for now.
Hey, I wish you could see yourself just sitting there on my chair. I'm staring at you, you don't even notice. Should've told you straight away, you don't have to be afraid.